Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'm going to be showing you some new trees that I just picked up from a local nursery that I plan on turning into bonsai. Okay, up first we have the Big Sur Manzanita. As you can see, this is a nice little bushy seedling. I'm not sure how old it is, but it's got a lot of nice branch structure. You can see it's already got a ton of little flowers. Hopefully it'll have a lot of little fruits as well. And you can see it's got a nice flaky bark. See in there? Let me zoom in there. Can you see that nice flaky bark in there? As well as the nice light green smaller leaves. You can see it definitely has a lot smaller leaves than some manzanita varieties. So I'm excited to try to keep this one as a bonsai. I've had a couple of manzanitas before. So far, no luck in keeping them alive. They are very sensitive. Seems like they're very susceptible to disease, and they don't like having their roots touched or being pruned a whole lot. So I'm going to be really careful with this one here and the other manzanita that I got today as well, just to make sure that it has the best chances for survival. So my plans for this one are to do minimal pruning. I might do some pruning, like taking out some of these little shoots that are crossing inward, but not reducing any major branches, not doing any major root work, keeping it in this pot for as long as possible, and then trying to do a slip pot when I do move it into a nicer bonsai pot. And hopefully that will do the trick. And here is another manzanita. This one is the Canyon Sparkles variety. As you can see, it does also have a bit of that flaky bark there, the nice deep red flaky bark. But it does have darker leaves than the other variety that I just showed you, as well as more rounded on the tips. They don't have that point on the tip. And the mature leaves are, I'd say, about twice the size of the other one. So even though it's very similar, there are some significant differences. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one develops in the future. You can also see this is a much smaller tree than the other one. So we'll see how it does. Again, these manzanitas are notoriously difficult, but we're going to try it. Alright, and here's the next one. This is a Fremont Cottonwood. I don't know a whole lot about this tree other than you can see it's deciduous. It has lost all of its leaves. You can see here's one of the small leaves. They do get a lot bigger than this, but you can see the shape and color of the leaves. You can see it's got that nice yellow color from its fall pigments, and it's got a pretty interesting shape to it. But other than that, I don't know a whole lot about this species, so I'll be excited to see how it develops and learn more about it. And here is the next tree. This is a coast live oak or California live oak. This is an evergreen oak. You can see it's got sort of a holly leaf shape. It's got serrated edges with little spines. The leaves are pretty small, which is nice. I do like that about them. And again, this is another just really great local species, native species, that I'm hoping will develop into a really nice bonsai. I do have another one of these. It's just a little baby seedling. But you can see this one is a much bigger specimen, so I'm hoping this one will quickly turn into a nice bonsai in the future. And this is the last tree that I'm going to be showing you guys today. This is another evergreen oak. This is an Engelmann Oak. And as you can see, the leaves are a bit longer than the coast live oak, but they don't have that serrated edges. They have a round, smooth edge, and it's got a bit of a wavy pattern to it. So these are definitely an interesting looking oak. Really cool looking tree. I'm excited to develop this into a bonsai. Unfortunately, I think this individual plant here might have some kind of disease or something, maybe some insect or something. As you can see, let me zoom in on that so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You can see that sort of not sure what's going on with it, but it's got something funky. So what I'm planning on doing right now is to just trim away anything that looks unhealthy or diseased, and hopefully this will go from there. This was a pretty cheap plant. I think it was only like $12 or $14. So even if it doesn't make it, it's not the end of the world. So that's what I'm going to do now. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and disinfect my clippers here. So I'm just taking some rubbing alcohol. Putting it on a cloth here, paper towel, and just making sure to give the cutting surfaces on my pruners here a good wipe down. Get in all those little cracks and small spaces. And the point of this obviously is to make sure if there are any pathogens, bacteria, funguses, viruses that are already on the pruners, that they don't infect this new tree. And then I'm also going to be doing the same thing at the end after I do the pruning on this, just to make sure if there is a disease on here that's causing this growth to be weird, that it doesn't spread to my other trees. And then I'll also be keeping this in a sort of a quarantine area where it's not super close to the rest of my trees, just in case. Okay, so let's take a look here. Start out by looking at the bottom branch, lowest branch, and work our way up. As you can see, I don't see a whole lot. There are some weird leaves, so I'm just gonna clip off these leaves that don't look too healthy. But the growing tip at the end here doesn't look too bad. This next one up here, again, it doesn't look too bad. I'll take a couple of these leaves that are a bit weird, but yeah, not anything obvious there. Actually, I'm going to take the tip off this as well. Moving up here, again, this looks nice and healthy. This one as well. I'm just going to take off some of these dying leaves. Okay. Moving up, we have this branch here. Again, this one looks okay. This one's just got that one leaf at the top, at the tip. I'm just going to prune the tip off there. And then this is where we start to really get to the problem. You can see this one here definitely has something funky going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to prune it. Take the tip off here and show you a close-up of that. It looks like it may have been just some insect or something, but I don't want to take chances, so I'm just going to prune it off. Okay. Same thing here. This one looks like it's a bit further back. You can see these leaves are kind of growing funky right there, so I'm going to prune it back to the last. So the first healthy leaf, that looks normal. It's also a downward facing leaf, so it'll continue that same flow on the branch rather than an upward facing branch that might shoot vertical, or a side facing branch that might shoot it in a funny direction. Again, this branch here, I'm just going to take off some of these older dying leaves in the middle. Take those right off. And then again, that tip is definitely a bit weird. So I'm just going to take it back to a healthy bud right there. Our next set of branches, I'm just going to prune the tip off of that. Looks like we've got a bit of a dead stub here, so I'm just going to cut that off. Next one up is looking good. Just going to remove a couple of dying leaves. And then the tip at the apex here also has that kind of funkiness going on. So I'm just going to take it back to a healthy looking leaf right there with the fresh bud growing out. Okay, and I think that about does it for this Engelmann Oak today. Not a whole lot of work, again, just hopefully nipping that disease in the bud if there was disease, or getting rid of any little insects that might be causing that. And then I'm going to go ahead and sweep up that. Oh, this is a funky leaf as well. I'm going to take that off. And then I'm going to take all those trimmings that I just cut off and keep them away from my other plants as well. So hopefully this will be a nice little bonsai one day. Gotta clean your tools. Make sure that you don't spread, if this is a pathogen, a contagious disease, that you don't spread it to your other trees next time you work on them. Just gonna rub down my pruning shears here with some more rubbing alcohol. Give them a good wipe down all over. And there we go. Okay, that's all I got for you today. If you like this video and you want to see updates on these trees and more in the future, give the video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That way you can be notified when I do updates on these and others. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. Hope you enjoyed.